Humans of the internet. Welcome to the Gallant Horde. Today we are playing To Catch a Spy. Um, these six lovely people are going to try to figure out who the spy, the Metamorphosis spy in Circle Creek is. They know there is one. They know that there is an agent. They do not know who it is. So Andaline is going to enlist the assistance of the local detective man, one Bajok Silver, PI, and his trench coat and his this whole thing should be in black and white. Not gonna lie, we should have the Casablanca music playing, um, and we're gonna see what happens. This is a bit of a different game, actually. Before we get into that, I'm gonna just remind all of you lovely people watching this delightful piece of theater, um, that we love audience participation. Please participate. We have various things that you can do. You can give our characters a potion of resistance. Today's potion of resistance is resistance to fire damage. It may not be active yet because I think he only makes it active once we actually start playing. You can also give our players inspiration, which means that they can re-roll a d20 roll. Yes, so please play along. It's fun. You can also give me DM inspiration. I'm just saying. I can also have the opportunity to re-roll a d20 roll. Just saying that's an option. Anyway, or a specific NPC if that's your jam. You do you, boo. Okay, so this game is going to run a little bit differently because it is a bit of a different format to what we normally do. I have asked this team to identify 4 people in Circle Creek they would like to interview. We will start off with an initial meeting with Andaline, and then they will work through the 4 people they have already chosen. I've given them a roughly half an hour real time with each of these characters, so we'll see how that goes. The win condition of this game is not necessarily to unmask the agent, because there are a lot of NPCs in Circle Creek, and it is entirely possible that the person who is the Metamorphosis agent is not, in fact, on their shortlist of 4 people. It might be. We shall see. They don't have to actually unmask the agent today. What they have to do is bring back Andaline something she can use. So the task is to try to get enough information that she has somewhere to go with it. It's a bit of an amorphous thing, and it will be up to her to decide at the end of the game whether you have succeeded enough to get your medallion segments or not. So, with that in mind, are there any questions from the players about how this is going to run before we dive in? No? Excellent. In that case, on this very chilly, windy, but strangely sunny day in Circle Creek, 6 members of the Gallant Horde gather at the Dancing Anvil to meet up with Andaline. Andaline would have had a chat with Silver beforehand, basically saying, "Hey, this is your wheelhouse. Find the agent for me. Let's see what you can do. Here are some people to assist you in your investigations, but I expect you to spearhead this operation since it is your skill set." So you gather. What would you like to do? I guess before we do that, is there anything anyone has done? I know that Jordan said Stump has brought cookies.
2 kinds.
2 kinds. What are the 2 kinds?
Sugar cookies and fire cookies.
Fire cookies. Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear about this. Excellent. All right.
As far as for Silver goes, for anyone assisting him with this case, he would have actually been producing Eagle Eye elixirs for each member of the party. It's essentially an item.
The benefit of
It's an for the audience. It actually gives a boost to perception when you're trying to figure out key details or spot small things that a lesser rule might not give you or net you.
So Andaline will walk up to the group, assuming you do not approach her. And she will put a little vial in front of Silver and go, "It's your first mission, so you get one of these. It is a minor healing minor. It's a small healing potion."
Minor.
Silver would respectfully decline the healing potion, as he has already created his own elixir of life.
I'm
And he
sorry, are you
was.
refusing my gift? Is that what is happening here?
Yes, I am refusing your gift.
Insult.
I'm not trying to insult you, but I think it would be better used for
Did you
someone
use
else
the one
in
I
the
gave
party.
you?
What do you mean?
Lorelai,
Hmm?
did you use the one I gave you on your first mission?
Well, probably is the answer because I carry a lot on me. I'm not sure which one is exactly which, but typically I am shoving them down my colleagues' throats as they lay almost dead.
Right. So you have found usefulness in it that was not necessarily for yourself, yes?
Oh, yeah.
She just turns and looks back at you, Silver.
Silver will begrudgingly hold out his hand and accept the token.
Good choice. Well done. Now, you all know what you're up to today? Yes, Lorelai.
Are we in the back room?
Would you like to be in the back room?
I feel like perhaps it is a good idea to speak freely in the back room.
All right, come along. And she turns and she leads you all into the back room. By the way, I'm going to do this because we have a map for the Dancing Anvil that I've never had the opportunity to use. And it is beautiful. This map was created by Rex, who is not playing in this season, but played in our first season. And it is exquisite. So I am just going to show you, even though we don't necessarily, hopefully, anyway, need a map right now. And this is the famous back room behind the bar. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes? Cool. I don't have a token for Andaline because I didn't think about it. I only put the tokens of the people that you... Let me put you guys on there, though. Ah, wrong thing. Go away. So this is really just for the aesthetic because it is pretty. Seeing black on the stream screen as
Yeah, we're probably zoomed in on the
there we go. Okay.
hidden spot. There we go.
Cool. I've pasted
yes.
you in the anvil, so you should be able to.
To the
Anyway, I
back room.
just really want the opportunity to actually use this made me happy because it's gorgeous. And thank you, Rex, if you're watching. I don't know if you're watching, but ta-da! So there's a back
Edelgard
room.
would
You
not
can
be
imagine there's-
manifested inside the tavern because she has dirty paws and
Okay.
Tilly's not a monster. So I'm just going to
Fair
put Edelgard in the corner
Cool.
of the map.
It's very polite of you. Well done. You can probably assume there are a few people in this tavern. There would be a table in that back room as well with chairs around it because she uses it as a private conference space as well.
How many Baxters are in the anvil right now?
Well, it's like mid-morning and it's a normal day, so
Okay.
the Baxters are mostly being put to work by their parents.
Okay.
So probably none right now.
There's like 20 of them. We had to be sure.
It's not that many. Anyway. Andaline leads you into the back room. Yes.
Oh, I just was worried that the ears have eyes or walls or something. I don't remember the saying in common.
The walls have ears?
Perhaps.
The walls have eyes, I believe.
Walls have eyes. Some walls do
They have
eyes.
many extremities.
Anyway, did you have any questions for me before you embark on this little adventure?
Silver would ask a question specifically. How long has... Because he knows he's literally talking about someone who's close, but also doesn't want to say it. How long has your bartender been employed under you?
She arrived shortly before the guild opened. She was sent to me by a friend in Moterra. She arrived like, I don't know, while we were putting the building up, I think.
He's building a time frame on each person that we talk to, so he wanted to make sure. Aside from that, he doesn't have any questions for Andaline.
You suspect Dear Tomorrow, do you?
I wouldn't put it beyond the realm of possibility. She hears and comes into contact with a lot. So,
Certainly she
I don't.
does.
Even
Yeah.
if it is not her, she may have information for us.
That too.
Never occurred to you that perhaps I talk to her on a regular basis? As you wish. You may interview tomorrow. Would you like to start with her since she's right here?
I would like to ask some questions before we begin.
Okay.
We have talked about this in the past. And I was wondering if you already have some, perhaps, hunches about you, Miss Andaline?
I have some thoughts on the matter, but part of this endeavor is to see if you reach similar conclusions to me. Sometimes
Fresh
having
eyes.
people exactly approach a problem without predisposed biases can be helpful. Also, I know this place very well and the people in it very well, whereas all of you are comparatively new here and may see something I don't see due to familiarity.
Mm. Next question. I do know that tattoos happen to be a big part of this organization. Could you please give us a quick rundown of what we know of the tattoos?
We know that they're usually on the inside of the right wrist.
Right wrist.
They are usually some version of the life cycle of a butterfly. Caterpillar, pupa, butterfly with closed wings, butterfly with open wings seems to be what we have encountered. Does not mean we're not missing some, but that's what we know about. The tattoos seem to indicate hierarchy. So, the higher up in the organization you are, the more advanced you are in the life cycle. That's about it. We don't know a lot.
And do we have any idea at which cycle we think our particular spy perhaps could be a part of?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we don't know who it is suggests that they are good at what they do. But
Yeah.
these people also don't seem to recruit who are not good at what they do.
Mm. And
Hard
we
to
know
say.
from other people's investigations that they are I mean, they're not just here, they are kind of all over the place, right?
That
Do
seems
we
to be
know
the case.
where they're, like, do they have a home base of operations or where they began?
That is the interesting thing. They seem to have popped up everywhere at once. Which, if you know anything about such organizations, is unlikely. Suggests that they were quietly planting people for a long time before they made themselves known. Nobody seems to be able to have any idea of who leads them or where said leader resides.
Have you had contact with any of them in the past?
Not personally, no. I have had contact with many people who have had contact with them, but no direct interactions that I am aware of. They're very good. It's a problem.
For any of you who have not seen, Lorelei produces a letter that she received from the Metamorphosis. And I don't remember the exact words, but it's basically thanking her for getting somebody out of their way.
Mm.
It had a seal, and the seal had the butterfly with the open wings on it.
It's there. It's just a little broken from being opened.
It looks like the one Thomas received, right? Like
Correct.
the seal.
Yep,
Oh.
exactly the same seal, in fact, as the one that Thomas received. Same image.
Have you ever heard of anyone encountering an operative member, whatever they're called, that didn't have a tattoo?
Well, if we did, we didn't know they were an operative. They seem to have people who they manipulate. They have people who they bribe and blackmail and so forth. These people
Right.
do not have tattoos. But actual members, if they exist, we don't know about them. Which again suggests that it's possible that our agent is not walking around with a butterfly on their wrist. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're hiding it. There are ways of obscuring things. Hard to say.
Mhm. Like the mayor, he is one of those that we think has been blackmailed, but not likely to be the spy because,
Correct.
well, he'd probably cry at the sight of a needle, and also he is not subtle.
Indeed. They threatened his daughter.
Maybe they don't know they're the spy. That would
Could
be
also be the
interesting.
case.
could be.
Yes.
A sleeper agent.
Don't look so fascinated.
There's a lot of things we don't know. My hope is that today you will be able to reduce the number of things we don't know.
Captain Personal Investigator, are you satisfied with the information we have gathered?
So far, always more information to get. But a specific question for you, Lorelai. Who might have been the last person that you eliminated, eviscerated, or got out of the way?
The man that we killed. Yes.
Yes.
He was a horrible, horrible man who was capturing spirits. It was in a lost episode that you will never get to see.
Because it was great.
But basically, it was a guy who, there was a bit of a power vacuum happening in Riverways. And so he was going around trying to be a big and tough guy, grunting around and trying to push his weight like he was important. And so we went and we investigated the situation. He was capturing souls and using them for dubious means. And perhaps we have a ghost who we know who helped kill him. And then when we got back, they sent each of us a letter with a gold piece, which I keep here in my pocket. And they basically paid us for getting somebody out of their way because he was investigating their movements as well. He seemed very afraid of them.
Okay.
It was an excellent
Oh,
summary of that missing episode.
Was he
Okay.
taking souls from live people or dead people?
Yeah.
That might give us some place to dig in a little more, especially if we know of anyone who might have been benefited from him being eliminated genuinely, aside from the organization. Little subterfuge, switcheroo. Okay. All right. Yeah,
Well,
that satisfies me for now.
Our allies benefited from us killing him also.
Oh, that doesn't narrow down things at all. Okay, this is going to be a very...
What you went to Riverways for?
Pardon?
Yes, that's why they went to Riverways.
That was
Mm.
it's Bria reacting.
Mm.
You know, we should get on with it. We do not need to discuss how Jackson shot a child. It is all in the past.
What?
I'm
It
sorry.
was an accident, and she was excited because she got to have a scar. It was great.
Yeah, she's fine.
Jax was playing said child at the time.
Flashbacks.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah.
I feel like you gave just enough information to make everybody want more. Good job. Um, who would you like to interview first? Shall I?
Because we are here, I think it makes sense to go ahead and enter Tamara first.
All right. So, question, Sean Lee, do you want to play her?
Oh, baby, you know I do.
For those of you who do not know, Sean Lee runs Tamora in the Discord. So, I will say that Tamora knows exactly as much as Sean Lee does.
Excellent. Let's go, baby.
All right, Andaline will leave and send Tamora in to talk to you.
Question. Two
Yes.
questions.
Yes.
First question being, where are we doing the interviews? Here at the tavern? Or
I mean,
another
I
location?
assume this one you're doing here because this is where Tamora works. The other ones you will have to go to the people and explain to them. They have no idea. You will have to explain to them. Yeah.
Okay, that answers my second question was, we're looking for a potential spy and you just got them to agree to be interviewed. Okay.
Well,
Surprise.
Andaline will
interviews, got
walk
it.
out and be like, "Hey, Tamora, those guys would like to talk to you." That's as much as Tamora knows.
Okay. That's what I was about to. Okay, that's what I was about to say.
So,
Not
Tamora
in the back
enters.
room, right?
I don't know. Do you want to interview in the back room? That was what Andaline assumed.
Yes. We probably don't want to interview her in the bar.
Stump doesn't want to be a creep, so he's gonna step out into the open first.
So you're following Andaline out?
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk out, she's going to turn and be like, "What are you doing?"
Coming out of the back room.
You want to talk to her out here?
I don't want to take someone potentially innocent and surround them in the back room. It just looks weird.
Hey, Tamora.
Hi.
Hi. Some of the Gallant Horde people want to ask you some questions. Are you cool with just hanging out with them in the back room?
Oh, of course.
He's fine. I wouldn't have allowed it if I thought it was going to be a problem.
Stop,
Between
I
you
head
and
back
me,
and hold the
Stump,
door open.
I'm absolutely certain Tamora is not the person we're looking for, but perhaps she can help you. Just
And
answer their
if-
questions to the best of your ability, dear.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And as he goes to turn and he thinks, oh, I just saw her here, she is now behind him in the back room.
For those of you who do not know, Tamora is a very blonde halfling with super curly blonde hair and very rosy cheeks and an extremely sunny disposition.
And I will not cook anything that is not on the menu today because I will not be put out by these people.
Angeline goes out and does barkeeper things. Please continue.
Okay. Silver will go ahead and grab a seat in the back table and say, "Hi, Tamara.
Hi, dear.
How are you doing today?"
I'm just plumb happy you've chosen to speak with me.
I hope we can keep that energy throughout this. Specifically, I just want to ask, because obviously, Andaline thinks we might be pointing in the wrong direction when it comes to this. I think you might be liable to get some information from you because you usually see everything, at least in the bar. So, I figured it would be a good place to start to ask questions.
All right, sweetie.
Okay. So, in general, you want to know, you've heard about the Metamorphosis agent, right? The possibility of someone shape-shifting, taking over.
Shape-shifting? In the bar?
Possibility.
That sounds messy.
Yeah, no, I can see how you could say that. But basically, we think there might be someone who's playing that role as an agent inside the town. Anyone, any person, anybody part of the guild or Circle Creek in general could be said person.
You think it's somebody from the guild that is
There's
spying?
Possibly. They might want to know what Andaline's up to.
Now, I think that's a little wild, don't you?
Why
They
would you
should
say
probably
that?
have been around for a little bit longer than that if they wanted to be a real good spy.
You're not wrong. That's a valid point.
I think the only person who is newer than the guild itself is possibly me.
That possibility did strike me a little bit. How long have you been bartending? Not specifically here, but in general.
Sweetie, that's almost as bad as asking me my age.
Oh no, I would never presume to ask you your age. I can't tell.
Possibly
You look
longer
like
than
you're
you've been
not even over
alive,
20.
sweet boy. I'm just messing with you. It's been like, just a short time. It's a work that I think is quite rewarding because I get to talk to so many people and be helpful. I get to clean a lot. I like the organization, and dusting a whiskey bottle does feel good at the end of the day.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And actually, that's another point. You do talk to a lot of people. You see a lot
All
of people
day,
come
every day.
through, you talk to them, and that makes you a good vat of information. So I was curious.
If you must know, I do hear things on occasion. Like one time, I heard that Sue Ellen had her eye on a gentleman caller, but that is for her to choose, and I will not tell you any more about that situation.
Interesting in that situation. Sound, I was going to lean a bit more towards someone might be interested in the Horde itself, the guild, its inner workings.
Well, there's a strange person shows up every few weeks and goes, "Oh no, I'm down on my luck and I really need work." And Miss Andaline says, "Yeah, okay."
Oh no.
I think that killed me a little bit.
Fair point.
Tilly, you're coughing? You all right there, Tilly?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. It just got a little hotter in here, that's all. Okay. Let me recenter just a little bit.
Yeah, I think you need to be a little bit more direct in your questions, sir.
I was trying to be cordial, but apparently that will not cut it with this. I just need to be direct and to the point. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Working where you work in the sensitive position that you do, we're wanting to know if the Metamorphosis agent, someone who can take the shape of anyone, might be trying to cause harm to the Horde itself. Have you come across anyone who you think might have an inkling for that while you've been working there?
Well, not too long ago, we were having a problem with some gossip posts. And it did seem like somebody was not a huge fan of the Gallant Horde coming into their cute little town and disrupting the quiet. Now, if you ask me, I do think it was probably somebody who was disgruntled and sad with their sad, lonely little life. But I can't speak to that specifically because I am not here to judge. That is what the gods are for, honey. I will say, though, if you lived in a cute, quiet little town where you only had to worry about making sure you were getting fresh eggs every morning, and then suddenly a bunch of brutes showed up and lived in a tower that ruined your skyline, and they were bringing danger behind them, wouldn't you be a little frustrated, Mr. Silver?
Maybe just a bit. But don't we have it on good recollection that the actual posts from that individual have ceased? We haven't actually had one in a while.
Do you think just because somebody stops talking to you, their opinion of you has changed, sir?
No. But that will make me all the more curious about possibly who was leaving those notes, as you are in the vicinity to see them.
I have no idea because Jax did not respond to my DM.
You don't know. You don't know.
Well,
The person who
I don't
left
know.
them was very subtle about it, and Tamora never
Yeah,
never pinpointed it.
And to be perfectly honest, sir, I am looking for messes and people's cups. If they are empty, I am filling them. I'm not looking at the bulletin board because that is not my job, sir.
Okay. All right. That is a fair assessment then. Well, if we're on that same token then, has anyone ever come into the Horde, or not the Horde, coming into the bar itself and just causing a ruckus overall, seeming to want a lot of attention?
Yes. I can think of two very easily. One of them is named Thomas, and the other one is named Axel, and they are both your colleagues, sir. They love attention.
I would add Elroy Baxter to that list. I'm just saying.
Oh, also, have you met Elroy? He's a cutie.
I think it's Blair.
But, well, and there's Chad. Chad sometimes says things faster than his brain has kept up with what he is saying, so there is that aspect to it. But, you know, he's constantly walking around in here with coveralls on and no shirt underneath because he seems to think it's summertime all the time.
No, not Chad.
They're very fit.
Blake is the party.
Oh.
I'm
Then
like,
there's
what is
Blake.
the party boy? It's Blake.
Then there's Blake. And I tell you, sometimes he is drinking his daddy under the table, and his daddy can hold a beverage. Axel gets in here singing, and Mr. Blake, what was his name? I can't remember. Oh, it's so hot in here. He's out there singing. If he knows the song, those lyrics are being screamed at the Baxter table.
Gotcha. Okay.
Watch out, girls. Watch out.
I'm having
Those
flashbacks
Baxters.
to my childhood.
They're cute.
Those of us who grew up in rural communities are all like, we all know that family.
There's 17 of them. I don't remember, but they are all very good personalities. Sometimes some of them are just louder than others.
True.
But that could be said of the Sims family as well, but they are on the younger side of things.
Okay.
Just so many, like little rabbits. It's very cute.
Okay. All right. Silver would actually look to the rest of the party. Did you guys have any other questions for our esteemed bartender here?
No, I am good.
Why did I know you were going to? Okay.
I want to watch Lorelai talk to Tamora.
I guess Stump does, yeah. Anybody that spends a lot of time in the bar that doesn't tip? Or doesn't tip well?
That is an excellent question. Let me go into my mind palace and have a whisper for my DM.
Make a society. No, Tamora would just know. Please hold while I
got an eye for copper pieces.
Probably drinking whatever's cheap.
I would say out of the locals.
Is it Archibald?
It's
Probably. Archibald Senior, on the rare occasions he shows up, probably doesn't tip. And also, I imagine that Quinn occasionally comes in after work, has like 2 drinks, and also probably doesn't tip very well.
Yeah. So first, we have the mayor's very up-to-do gentlefolk man who sees to his books, Quinn. He seems to think that because he is a public servant, everybody is supposed to publicly serve him, and so I do not get tipped by him.
That's not how the concept works, but okay.
Oh, rude. Am well aware. And then, on the other hand, there is that scoundrel, Archibald Sims Sr. He's a trapper, But he's not a very good trapper, if you ask me, because he doesn't seem to make enough money to tip. Not that I have a problem with that, because Miss Andaline takes very good care of me, and I make a living wage.
Yeah, right. No one in Azurio has to rely on tips.
Yeah. I am not an exploited worker. I am working here happily.
Good question, though.
It's an excellent question.
Well, unless anybody else has any questions, you've been a great help. Thank you.
Who are you going to next, honey?
That's up for the bosses. He's just gonna look at at Silver.
Silver.
Probably gonna go and hunt down Quinn, actually.
Oh, well, I can't really give you much help on that front then. I'm so sorry. There's no... You know how there's, some people respond to the stick and some people respond to the carrot? He'd rather not respond at all.
Yeah, he does give off that vibe. Okay.
Have so much fun.
When you say that
Thank you.
about the carrot, there's this tiny little voice that goes, "But carrots are so delicious." That was mischief.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your help. We'll go ahead and let Tamara get back to what she was doing.
Okay.
Ooh, going to wipe some tables. Woohoo!
You do not see her leave. She is there, and then she is not there. All right.
I
so
feel
you-
as if I have blacked out. Wow.
I would like to vote for more Tamora, just in general.
That was...
Amazing.
She threw me
Have
off.
another NPC game
Yeah.
instead of the
Wow.
Goblin Circle Creek NPCs.
Yeah.
Like every one of my grandmother's friends.
Okay. Do you want to have a conversation before you head to town hall as a group?
Yeah, we can go ahead and chat as a group.
If you want to. You don't have to.
So, that was enlightening.
Where are we standing? Are we still in the
I
back
assume you're
room?
still in
or-
the back room.
Yeah.
You haven't
Back
said
room.
Yes, we're still in the back rooms. We're still in the back
Okay.
rooms. That was enlightening. She is a chatty Cathy, but she knows a lot.
As we expected.
Yeah. Nothing concrete except for confirming what we knew about Quinn, and this conversation is going to be very pleasant. And about our mysterious blogger. I thought she might have seen them, but I guess not. And
Also,
I
you
haven't
mentioned
seen them.
shapeshifting. Have we gotten shapeshifting out of any of our information?
I did not think so.
Okay.
I think it being metamorphosis and transformation makes it seem like they could be anything, and I think that's what was being stated, of like they could look like anybody because we don't know who it is.
That's in Bria's brain. She's not connecting.
I don't think
What's
anyone
the
has
other-
told you that there was that this person was a shapeshifter. But if you have reached that conclusion, then
I have a strange question. Any of you happen to be of noble birth?
So we're going to-
You don't have
Neris?
to.
Are your parents very important?
Everyone at home is important. I mean, my
You
brother,
need nobility?
by your concepts, my brother and I could be simply because we are out here and they are back there. I think your word is ambassadors of a sort.
I was only asking because Quinn and the mayor seem to be the stuck-up type that respond to important, quote-unquote, important people. But I do think that Quinn also maybe doesn't think anybody is more important than him, so I don't know.
I mean, aren't you the highest ranking member of the Horde?
He hates us, and so that means nothing.
This is also true.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. So I know why the mayor hates us, but why does Quinn? Quinn just like offset of the mayor? Hey, oh, you hate these people, so I hate these people too? Is that all there is to it?
Who has met Quinn in this group?
I have only heard very colorful stories.
Okay, so none of you have actually met him.
No.
All right, never mind. As you were, carry on.
Oh no.
From what I have heard, he just seems like the kind of person who is lonely. I don't know if he has a life outside of his job. I really don't.
We need to go with a slightly more delicate approach when it comes to Quinlan.
Could Stump lean out the door? Excuse me, Miss Mara? She's still over there?
Hello. Yeah, honey, what's it? And she's wiping a glass.
Does Quinn ever order any reserved liquor, anything fancy occasionally that he favors when he's not being cheap?
I mean, he's always cheap, honey. But it's probably, I imagine Quinn, at least in my mind, is the type of person who orders the same thing every time.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, though.
Yeah, but
It's
he's
probably
a
an
politician.
IPA.
He's got some kind of liquor that
He's one of the.
that
I
he's
say this as someone who actually really likes IPA.
trying
but,
to
you know,
impress people.
He's that guy.
I badmouth an IPA every chance I get to Will. I told him it's like licking pine cones.
I really like them, but I also know that there is a kind of guy who orders IPA not because he likes IPA, but because it's IPA.
Yeah.
You know? He's that guy.
Honey, I don't know if you have this concept where you're from, but back in Merterra, we have this term called a hipster, and he is more concerned with what it looks like that he's drinking than what he is actually drinking. Are you familiar?
No.
I
Are
don't
you
know,
saying
Stump
that
a
works
lot
in
of what we have-
restaurant.
We got a lot of Stump whiskey where I'm from.
Ah. So do you know the term hipster? He's kind
No.
of like one of those guys without being one of those guys aesthetically. Are you saying
He's a
you need
city
a growler?
person. I got it.
You need a growler, honey?
Yeah, whatever he likes. I'm gonna buy some of that to take to him.
All right. She gets him a growler, seals it up. There you go.
I can't remember if IPA was on the list of beer I gave you.
Just
but...
gonna.
It is now. You've got
It
the
is
great,
now.
How
the
much is
great
that?
Althean pine.
I don't know, like a gold. I don't know
Oh,
how
honey,
much.
this-
I don't
This
buy
is good
anything.
stuff.
I think it's more than that.
It's the good stuff, honey. I'm
It's good stuff.
reading my menu here.
Someday Jax will reorganize the Zurian economy, so it makes sense.
Yeah, you're looking at 11 silver pieces, honey.
11 silver.
I'm giving you a bit of a discount by giving you the growler for free. He'll bring it back. I know him. We're good.
Thank you very much. Give my hello to the family, and then he'll head back to Silver.
No, that's.
I don't know. Stump doesn't know anybody in this town besides like a handful.
Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't do
Good
anything else.
family.
No, that's brilliant. That's.
Mines and cooks. That's all he does.
Cool.
Yeah,
But he knows
that's brilliant.
Southern hospitality, so.
So we're heading to Town Hall.
Yes, we are heading to town hall.
Very good. So you meander your way across Circle Creek, find yourself at the door of Town Hall. Yes, Neris.
So on the way over, Neris asks Silvers, what is a PI? What does that stand for?
Private investigator.
What is that?
Basically, someone who goes around finding out things that people don't want to bring to the light of day. Like if someone's husband is cheating on their wife, or if someone is embezzling money, or if someone's trying to hide a body.
Oh, so you're a busybody. You're nosy. Okay.
Yes,
Professional
actually.
busybody.
Yeah, actually.
How are you not dead?
Lucky, I guess, and orc heritage. Apparently, people see me coming and tend to want to go the other way. Makes work tricky, but not impossible.
Fascinating.
Lawman without the bat.
Which, as he will actually point out, in this particular endeavor, I might not be the best spearhead, because I will be gruff and aggressive with this individual, because I'm already getting vibes that he is not to be liked. So, if any of you would like to try the friendlier face, and I can be in the background for support.
I could try.
I might devour him whole. I don't want to do that. That might ruin the mission. So,
Silver,
Won't
make
taste
a
good either.
society check for me, real quick.
society.
Tilly's just like in the background, just like slapping her face to put more color in it so she doesn't look dead. Because her skin is almost white. And the cold's not helping.
Society chat.
Oh, is Tilly cold? You can have a fire cookie.
She's wearing so many layers. It's kind of ridiculous.
What have you got for me, Silver?
22.
Okay.
Nice.
You came from Elder Castle, so you would know that according to the nobility of Elder Castle, there is a hierarchy, and the top of that hierarchy is elves, as a general rule. Preferably elves who are from one of the 7 families that, rule Elthia. But someone who is prone to being snobby is probably going to be more receptive towards an elf than anybody else. Just gonna put that out there. That is a thing that Silver would have in his brain and would know.
Okay. Thank
Mira's
you.
pretending she doesn't exist.
Silver would slowly turn around and give a look to Neris, actually.
What?
So, from a hierarchy and societal point, someone who has that hoity-toity feel about them, like they're the most important thing in the world, would naturally vibe more towards someone who gives off that air of nobility, and your race tends to go that route.
Why?
Why?
The
It's not so much an ancestry thing. It's not that they think elves are better. It's just that the nobility are all elven families in this case. Yeah. So there's an association there.
Oh, they're all elven families.
Yeah.
Oh.
There are various kinds of elves, but they're all elven families in Elthia.
Oh, okay.
The ruling.
Okay. Thank you.
The 7 families that are the council that rule Elthia are all elven families.
Okay.
There's a historical reason for that, but it means that people in that middle management place would have that association whether they're conscious of it or not.
Okay.
If you see what I mean.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. Not all elves are better, but all nobility are elves, therefore there's a bit of a
Okay.
Therefore each elf you encounter is slightly more likely to be noble than a human.
Yes.
There you go.
What are the 7 families for the audience?
God. Oh, you mean just in general?
Yes.
There are 7 elven families that are the council that rule Elthia. So there is a ruling family, the Silverleafs. There is a queen, but she is a child queen called Sarafe Silverleaf. Her uncle is currently regent. And then there are 6 other elven families that form the Council of Elthia, and that is who rules this kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the names off the top of your head? I know it's the Seleniums.
One of them is Selenium. If you give me a hot second, I can look them up. Please hold.
What's your family tree?
No,
let's go ahead and break that down.
I have some notion of what each family, where they fit in, but if you give me a second, I have a world anvil for this exact reason.
All right. I should have pulled that up.
Yeah, it's all there. But it's all good. I will find it. Seven families are. So the Silverleaf are the current ruling family. There are really only 2 of them, Sarafay and her uncle. Next is the Seleniums, who are more prolific. Then there are the Farluxen, who, if I remember correctly, are... Oh, nope, I don't remember. The Sea Guard, who are sea elves, water elves. The Nachwanderen, who are essentially drow. They're no drow in Pathfinder, but essentially dark elves. The Delitherans, who are dickheads. And the Still Moons.
They're all vampires.
And that's roughly the order of importance. It is on the World Anvil, so
Yeah.
you don't need to write it down. It is available. The Still Moons, so the mayor is a Still Moon, but he is a low-ranking Still Moon.
Oh.
And Delitharin, that's the vampire boy, right?
Correct. He was, yeah. So the Delitherans, what Lorelai knows about the Delitherans is that there are a lot of them. So there's a lot of children in that family. And yes, Baza encountered one of them who was a vampire in Murterra.
You know, if you are cool with lying, you could just say that you are cousin of a Delitharin or something. There are like 12 million kids. When I was talking about them with somebody else before, I was like, oh, do you know this one? And they were like, oh, God, I don't know. There are just so many. So you could be a cousin or something easily. Where are you from?
Far away.
Yeah, but what is it
Malaya.
called? Just say that you are a distant cousin from that area. He cannot disprove you.
I don't foresee this going well.
I'm just saying, on the back burner, you could have that as a lie. Then again, perhaps he studies the family trees.
So, what are you doing?
Now that's my question. How am I playing this? So what, I'm supposed to walk up and say...
Yeah, that's what we're figuring out, because the direct approach in this and just say, hey, we know you're causing trouble, is going to automatically be like, well, how dare you, or something like that. So we don't obviously want to assume. Best way to get information from someone who can be typically difficult is to find common ground or to be just chatty and, you know, just friendly with them.
Lorelai's face.
The look on Garrett's face.
You asked me to do this because I hit things. None of this is hitting things.
This is
Precisely.
This is not hitting. I will admit that. This is very much not hitting. However, this might give the best opportunity for him to open up without getting the door immediately slammed in all the rest of our faces.
Don't worry. I am here to support you.
We could also kick the door in if he slams it in our face.
And have him...
I would suggest that perhaps we don't do that one. That could end badly.
This one can't really go with intimidation or subterfuge like that. We have to be delicate, because if it's pulled the wrong way, he's going to... and we're not going to get any information from him.
And he would not do anything that could be publicly perceived as uncouth, as to slam a door in our face. Hopefully.
We might be able to use that to our advantage.
He's just a politician, right? Not a adventurer or
He's like
ex-adventurer.
the clerk of the town hall. He's like the mayor's PA.
He wishes he was a politician.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
He's a
use that
bookkeeper.
against him.
He's a records. He mans the appointment book. That's who. Like, he's that guy.
Okay. All right.
But if you know anything about receptionists,
they are the gatekeepers, and they take that
everything.
job.
As someone who does that in real life, they know everything.
Exactly. Even if he isn't our perceived person of interest, he might know or have some connection to who might be valuable, useful information. That's all I mean.
Right.
So
So,
the clock on Quinn has just ticked over. I'm just warning you that you're now in the half hour for Quinn. So you
Okay,
need to decide
fair
what you're
enough.
going to do.
Yes.
So what's my opening line? Alright.
Well, opening can obviously start with the growler that we just received from Tamara. That's always a good place to start. You can open up with, hey, it looks like you've been having a bit of a rough day, or I know those people can get a little bit irritating. Why not try and relax a little? Something along those lines.
We are the you people in that statement.
I feel, one, we have the wrong twin for this. And two, I feel like that would make him suspicious. I feel it would be better for this to be like a bribe, maybe-ish? But for what?
Oh. Do you think he's the type of person susceptible to bribes? Well, wait, of course.
I mean, it would depend on what you're trying to bribe him to do, maybe. I've never met him, so I hit things, remember? Not talk to people.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So then,
And
he
if all
rolled
else
his arm.
fails, we throw spaghetti at a wall. It's okay. We'll get through this.
Is that something that people do here?
Throw
we
spaghetti at a
throw
wall.
food at each other, so
What a waste of good food.
So
I'd kick you
what
out of
are
my
you doing?
restaurant if you did that.
Well, I'd say at this point, are we actually like
I would
approaching
say
the
you're
doors of
definitely
town hall?
standing outside town hall by now.
Okay.
The door is
From
closed.
okay, doors closed.
It's always closed.
Okay.
Side note
At
for the
some
party
point
real
during this conversation, Tilly has manifested Edelgard and then just given her a raw potato to eat.
Cool.
Jordan?
Sorry, what was that, Stump?
Yeah. Earlier, someone mentioned that the mayor was threatened. His family was threatened.
Yes. That did happen, yes.
Okay. How long ago was that?
It is an ongoing threat as far as I know.
Okay. It just occurred to me that you would want someone. Obviously, it's a little biased, but they would want to keep someone near him to make sure he does his job, right? Okay. Who wants to growler?
Me, I guess.
That, or I could be your receptionist. It doesn't matter. Or actually, Tilly might be better at this.
Sure.
Okay.
Hands off the
How
growler.
about this? We start with Tilly, and I'll be backup if it all goes wrong. And Neris will kind of like pull her scarf over her face to kind of hide for sure that she's an elf, and Mischief is hiding in the scarf, so they can't really be seen.
Cool. So you're walking in?
What's his
Yeah,
office like? Is it like multi-story, single
Well,
story?
right now you're just standing outside, and you told me none of you actually have been there, so you don't know.
Yeah, we're about to get the full on view when we
Continue
walk in.
walking.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Paint us a word picture, Jax.
You are looking at some doors.
After we
We walk
open
in.
the doors.
Yeah, we walk in.
It's a public building, so we can walk in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you push open the doors. They open like this is perfectly normal. And it is a large. I don't need to paint you a word picture. I have a real picture. It is a relatively large space. With like portraits of old mayors on the walls, and there's a very large desk that is in the picture. It's in the middle of the room, but it's actually like right in front of the double doors that lead further into the building. It is a big, empty, echoey space. There are like super uncomfortable chairs down the side walls. And at the desk is a very bored-looking elven man who looks up and he goes, Good morning. Welcome to Town Hall. How can I help you?
Hello. We would like to speak to you, if that is all right, if you've got some time.
I have nothing but time. Lorelai, yes.
Oh, our version of the map is black,
Oh.
and we cannot see it.
Sorry. My bad. I shall open the thing. Ta-da!
Ah, yes.
The conversation we would like to have is a bit of a sensitive nature. Is there somewhere private we could talk?
I am unable to leave my post due to the fact that this desk must be manned at all times.
I understand that.
I can
He
stay
says
here.
this like he's reciting rules, right?
Yep. Tilly grew up with essentially nuns. She knows.
All of it is in the most bored monotone you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, I do have this. I've heard that you like it. It might make your day a bit more exciting.
Who are you?
My name is Tilly.
Okay, but who are you?
I am a member of the Horde.
Oh, cool. I am unable to accept gifts from the public while on work duties. The sensitive nature of my position.
Well, you could always keep it for after your work duties finish. Can simply sit there unclaimed, and then, once your work duties are finished, well then, you're no longer working.
Are you trying to bribe me, Tilly of the Horde?
No.
Very well. Leave the bottle wherever you choose to put it, and perhaps it shall disappear at the end of the day. However, I feel it only fair to warn you that this will not affect my interactions with you at any time, because I am a professional and a noted employee of the city.
Would expect nothing less.
Now, what did you want to talk about?
She just kind of looks over her shoulder, because I assume the rest of them are there.
I
They didn't
assume you're
just
all there,
send her in on her own.
Silver would actually like to activate one of his abilities.
Okay.
It's specifically for when he arrives into a new location. It's called That's Odd. Automatically notice one non-obvious thing out of the ordinary when I enter a new location. Does not apply to creatures.
I mean, this is a very stale room. It's a very, like, stuffy, obvious kind of, like, you know, it looks like every government waiting room you've ever been in. Like, it's... Lorelai's making a hand. Is this related to the odd thing?
No. For
Okay.
after.
Cool. I... Roll me a perception check. I know you have the ability, but just
Not a
because
problem.
there's nothing immediately obvious in the room, but if you roll high enough, I might just give you a treat.
While he's looking around, Tilly is like looking at the chairs, and are they solid or are they like on legs? A bench or chair, basically.
Oh, they're chairs. They're on legs.
Cool. She'll just put
They
the
do not
growler
look
under
comfortable.
one of them so you couldn't see it if you walked in. But like it's within Quinn's eyesight, so it's like it's there, but she's not gonna point it out, she's just gonna put it there.
You okay there, Nathan?
Yes, I was looking for my perception and skills.
It's at the
making
top
off.
because it's also initiative in Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's under defenses.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did not see that
It's in a
whatsoever.
weird place because it's different to D&D.
And Edelgard would also be still sitting outside eating her potato and looking around.
Getting
She's keeping
money.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's also keeping watch.
Found it. Okay.
What'd you get?
And we'll roll 20. Looks like a dirty.
Okay. I will say that the strangest thing about this room is how empty the desk is. Like, there's one big leather book and maybe a pen or like a quill, but there's no paperwork. It's like he wasn't working on anything. He was just sitting there.
Just sitting there staring at the wall,
Yeah, pretty much.
waiting
So
for
There's
the
something to
apples aren't there
happen.
then.
There's nothing on the desk. Lorelai.
Thank you.
I'm just doing a general spirit sense, making sure that nobody is hanging around watching Quinn in the ethereal plane. There's no spirits here?
There's
Not
nothing.
even
Well,
like wisps or like little
there's
ethereal
nothing
plane
out of
fish?
nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Like, I suppose Lorelai would be aware of general ethereal plainness, and it's the same
Yeah.
sort of general ethereal plainness.
Okay.
There's nothing that makes you go,
Nobody just like watching over him, like, what is he doing?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Stop.
So the apples on the map aren't on the desk.
No, there's
Okay.
nothing on the desk.
Um,
And also the
He's
desk
just-
is further back, because he's basically right in front of the double doors that lead in deeper.
he's just on guard, just hating us, kinda. Just
Pretty much.
trying. Okay. Stump would like to take some of the cookies, some of the sugar cookies, and just go lean against the desk on the side and just loudly eat them. He's not gonna say anything. He's gonna let the others talk, but he's just gonna be annoying, throw him off his guard.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, Neris.
Neris would occasionally be doing like detect magic to see if there was anything noticeable.
There's nothing. There may be a couple of like very minor enchantments of the, convenient variety, like lighting and shit, but there's nothing out of the ordinary. I've forgotten where we were before everybody looked at things.
Tilly was looking back at everyone going,
Oh,
ask
yes.
your goddamn questions.
Did you wanted to talk? Here I am, talk.
Sorry. I'm just checking one of the detective abilities. One quick second. Because I'm not sure if it'll work the right one.
I won't tell you what, but if you are all at a loss for something, let me know. And that's all I'll say.
The fireball, isn't it?
There it is. Thank you. I was like, where did it go? Okay. Silver. I wanted to use my pursue a lead ability. And this one allows me to study a potential clue, designating subject of clue as target of investigation. This one I can actually use to target said person.
Okay. What is that?
Did you want me to? Oh, that's what I'm gonna. You spend 1 minute examining the details of one potential clue, designating the subject related to that clue as a target of your active investigation. The subject is typically a single creature, item, or small location, such as a room or corridor. In this particular occasion, it's a single creature, Quinn. You don't need to know the identity, purpose, or nature of the subject you need to be aware of existence.
So you're just studying him real hard, is that what it is?
Yes, I'm deeper into like how he's reacting to the questions, and then also how he's reacting to the smacking of cookies as well.
Okay. Someone else will have to do the talking then while you're doing your staring at this. Because right now you're all just standing there and he's looking at Tilly like, yes, okay, what do you want? And Stump is eating cookies in his ear. It's a small twitch.
I got more.
And Silver is studying him carefully. So what are we doing?
Stump making sure to get crumbs everywhere on his desk. Is going to reach over and grab the book and just slide it over to him and just like, how do you sit here all day? This is absolutely
As you do
boring.
that,
And
he
it's just
slams his
crumbs
hand on
are
the
just...
book and he goes, that is the mayor's personal appointment book and is not available for public consumption.
I mean, I'm not eating it, so I'm not consuming it. It's fine.
He pulls it
And then
back to
just-
where it was.
Look,
No.
look. I've seen you in the bar. I don't know why you're getting so upset all the time. And Stump's just gonna walk around behind the desk.
Where exactly
But,
are you heading?
I'm walking. I'm gonna get in his space.
He stands up.
Look,
I'm going to have to ask you to go on the other side of the desk, sir.
I don't see why you're getting upset. We came over here to have a nice conversation. Even brought you a gift, and for some reason you're upset. Why are you upset?
Because you're behind my desk, sir.
Well, do you want to come around the desk with me?
No. Your friend said you wanted to have a chat. You came and got crumbs on my desk and tried to read my appointment book, and now you're getting all in my space. Seems to me you're the one being rude, sir.
While
you
he's
said
while
that
he's
couldn't-
standing up,
sorry.
because he's standing up, right?
Hmm?
Can I get a good look at his wrists?
He is wearing long sleeves.
Okay.
He's wearing very formal, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say not easily.
Yeah. I mean, that's still important information, though.
You said you couldn't leave the desk unless someone's here. So.
Are
Oh,
you
sorry,
an
Echo.
employee of the city council?
I'm an employee anywhere that hires me, honestly, but
I cannot leave the desk in the hands of some cookie-eating random person that stepped in off the street, sir. I have a job and I take it seriously.
Stomp will start to, because I'm assuming him being an elf, he's taller than Stomp. Stomp's
Probably,
not
yeah.
very tall.
Yeah.
He's going to step back a couple of feet, like directly back away from the others, closer to the door. He's not going to go for it, but he's just going to step closer to it, and so that he's not looking at his desk or anything, and just be like, "Look, you want a cookie?" And he's just going to pull out a handful of his cookies.
Do not. Silver, make a perception check for me, please.
Yes.
You may add, I guess. Does it specify? Does it have a specific bonus, or is it just?
Don't believe whenever you
That's fine.
attempt a perception. Yeah, it's special or you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to the check.
Cool.
Okay.
So you add +1 to it.
Okay. 18 +1, so that'll be 19.
So your whole interaction with this guy up until Stubbs started getting in his space was he was bored, he hates his job, he hates everyone, really. He doesn't care about anything. The moment Stubbs started doing what he was doing, his demeanor changed slightly, and you get the distinct impression that if it came down to it, this guy could probably take him. Like, if they threw down, this guy actually has some steel behind his words. Like, there's something more to him. There's just a sense in this moment where he's like, actually, you're getting in my space and I don't like it. That makes you think maybe there's more to this guy than meets the eye. Just a vibe. The rest of you don't get that. That's because of his magic detector mojo.
That is something, actually.
Lorelai.
As I can see that he's getting frustrated with Stump, and so I'm gonna wave a prestidigitation and clean the crumbs, and I am going to get down into my deepest curtsy, and in Elvish, I say, I am so sorry for my comrade's behavior. He is not from any place of clean renown, so please allow me to apologize on his behalf.
Stump, do you speak Elvish?
No.
By any chance? No? Okay. He doesn't even look at you, Lorelei. He is looking straight at Stump, and he replies in Elvish to you, and he says, "Perhaps you should get him out of my space then, before things get problematic."
Last thing. Stump wants to look at his shoulders,
Okay.
like how he's standing.
Yep.
Does he have broader shoulders than a desk clerk should have? Because if
He
somebody's
looks like-
throwing hands, he's gonna have some shoulders.
Yeah, he definitely moves not like a desk clerk. It's not so much a strength thing, but there's a movement thing, which Stump, having been in a lot of fights in his time, would recognize that there's a litheness there in the way he moves that suggests that if you threw a punch, he would possibly be able to dodge it effectively.
Stump will start heading back around the desk.
Yeah, like there's something about him that suggests. Yeah. Yes, Tilly.
So while this was all happening, Quinn was facing away from his desk.
Where were you standing, Stump? Were you right by the doors?
By the doors, yeah, I was trying to get at him not looking at the desk.
I don't think that he would have moved so that he was completely. He would have been like at an angle so that he could look at Stump but still have this in his periphery.
Okay.
Because,
And-
you know,
But there's a chance.
Like a
he knows
girl-
the distraction when he sees it.
Like a girl at a bar, he also probably didn't take his hand off that book like a girl's
Correct.
like protecting her drink.
100% hand is still, yeah. His
So
guard is up.
she's not going to move, but she would have been quite close to the desk anyway. So she's going to do two things. First thing, she's going to share senses with Edelgard and let Edelgard see through her eyes, because that is something the summoner can do. And then Edelgard's going to try and read anything that she can on that book. May not work, but
It's a leather. It's closed, and it's a
Okay.
leather bound. It looks like a diary, like an appointment book, but there's no particular writing on it. It probably has the year. I don't know what the year is. Don't ask me. Yes, Neris.
So,
then she
Seeing that this is
snap it
kind
out
of-
so that her eyes don't look fucking mental because they go solid bronze. And yeah,
so seeing this is kind of going south, and before Stump can move back around the desk, Neris is gonna pull back her thing and just as much force of person as she can say, go, "Enough." And she will kind of put her hands together and bow to Quinn and is like, "I apologize for these intrusions. Apologize for my companions. They can be a little much." She's saying it in common for the benefit of everyone to be able to hear.
Make a diplomacy check for me, please.
would Chili be able to give Neris guidance, seeing that like this is starting to happen?
Is guidance save as? How does that work? Do you have to speak? Does it have a?
It doesn't say anything. It just says one action, range 30 feet to the start of my
have
next
a, like,
turn.
somatic touch, blah blah, one of them things.
It just, the tags just say cantrip and concentrate.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So that's a
What is
plus one.
the math?
Yeah.
+1 to
Plus one
plus
status
one.
bonus.
Ooh, 23.
Stump, are you moving?
Yeah, Stump's
Okay.
gonna move. He's gonna quickly try and get the scent off this guy so that he can identify him later or find him.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. Yep. If it becomes relevant, we will.
I don't know if it's gonna have to be relevant. I think
Yeah.
Stump's just gonna fight this guy.
All right. He watches until Stump is back around the other side, and then he turns to Neris and he goes, "So now you're in charge of this party, are you?" His whole
That's
demeanor's
fine.
changed at this point. He's like, the board is gone. He's on guard and clearly very pissed off about what is happening.
It was a test for my companions. Some did well, some did not.
Did they fail?
Prevail is relative. Nothing has
Not a
come to
very good
blows. but
test,
I
then.
think
He sits down, he pulls the book towards him, puts his arms on it, and goes, "So who are you?"
a representative of the council.
The council?
The council.
You have your credentials.
Not on me.
Well, then why should
I
I
am-
believe you?
You can choose to believe me or not. We only came to gather information. Nothing too sensitive. We did not come to look at the mayor's book. And she looks at Stump. That was not the plan. But we do have some questions on our mission. And we were informed reliably that you may be able to give us some insight regarding the information we seek. My companion here, and she'll kind of motion to Bajak, is an investigator. He will word them better than I do. I facilitate people, not interrogate them. Bajak, I trust you can be kind to our friend here.
Of course.
Ask your questions.
He kind of sits back, and you watch as he sort of puts the board back on.
She lets Silver do his thing.
He puts the board back on, as in the board expression.
As in that whole thing. It washes back over.
You can watch his back over. Gotcha.
Lorelai, did you have something before we dive into this?
You know what? I've decided that I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. If you
Okay.
could just give us like a how much time check on this investigation?
Right now?
What? Yeah.
Not very much longer. 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay, when it's 5, can you kind of give me the warning?
Cool.
Okay.
Silver, he looks at you.
So, you are, well, not necessarily busy, man, but you have things going on, so I will keep this blunt. You believe that there may be some sort of infiltration into the hierarchy of this city.
Hmm?
And being someone who is in your position, you might actually be able to help us sniff around so we can find them and root them out.
Who is this infiltration?
Someone who can be, annoyingly, anyone at any given time of any given day. Like an implant that has been here for years.
And to whom do they report?
That is a brilliant question. We think, and now this is Nathan, because Nathan doesn't actually know the name of said organization, but Jacques would.
The Metamorphosis is the name of the organization.
Yes.
Before you say it, Lorelai puts a hand on your shoulder to stop you from saying the name. And in Quinn's head, unless he has some way to block this kind of magic, he hears the Metamorphosis, and I would like to perception check his vibe when I tell him that.
Make a perception check.
32.
Jeez.
Good lord.
Have to roll against that.
Lorelai sees all.
There is the slightest flicker of a reaction. This is not an unfamiliar name to him. I would say you can't tell much more than that. There's recognition.
Okay. Please continue, Private Investigator. You don't need to say the name.
Understood.
So you think there is an agent in this town, and you are trying to seek them out on whose orders?
That is need to know.
And maybe what I don't may or may not know is also need to know. Bunch of people who are all new to town, newer than me to town, show up, claim to be from the council with no proof, and ask me about an organization that almost nobody knows about. But I must just tell you what I know.
You do not have to tell us.
You're right.
It would benefit the town for you to tell us. You seem
How?
like a man who does not like trouble. These people bring trouble.
So do you.
Only one of us so far has caused you much trouble.
He like runs his eyes across the group and he goes, "You're all members of that horde. The Gallant Horde.
Such
Bring more trouble than
disdain.
anyone else."
I'm relatively new to the area and new to the Horde in general. Taking this case on as a favor to a friend. That's
Which
neither here
friend?
nor there. If we're all for the Horde, I don't think that really beckons questioning, do you? And he would raise an eyebrow at him.
For all you know, the council hired us. We do jobs for many people.
I would need proof.
Why would the council give us proof if it came back to them?
Well, then we have a stalemate. Your 5 minutes is definitely kicked in.
Fair point. In the recess of time actually running out, is that us just having to move on or having
Yes.
to leave it? Okay, all right.
Yes. Just for the purposes of the format of the game. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think that it seems that we are stressing poor Quinn here out. Perhaps we should leave him to his day.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
I don't see any harm in that at all. As you were, Quinn.
Stump,
I bow.
you first.
Curtsy.
You never stump out the door first.
But Lorelei doesn't seem to leave the desk, but she looks like she's seeing everybody else out.
Hustling everyone out. Thank you for
This-
attending Town Hall. Please come again. We hope you have a pleasant day.
Before
Did
she
everybody
leaves.
leave?
Did you all leave?
Well, let's see. As Neris leaves, she turns around and bows again, and she says, "We leave you in peace." And then she leaves. And I also like to point out for like character and audience, Neris technically did not lie, because the council could be any council, and she was
That's-
technically sent as a representative by the council. So she did do that without lying. Her brother will be very proud.
All right, Lorelai.
In Quinn's head, I am so sorry to bother you, but you know who I have relations with, yes, Mr. Quinn?
Who you have relations with is none of my business.
I would say typically that is true, but you seem like a man who appreciates hierarchy.
I know who you have relations with, yes.
Okay, Mr. Quinn, I am going to be very honest with you. These people probably think you are guilty of a lot. I happen to think that you were the one that was spreading rumors about our guild earlier. I don't really care. That seems petty and small and beneath both you and I. However, I could put a really good word in for you if you were to give me some information that I could actually use. And she pulls out, she also has a couple letters, and she doesn't show what's in the letters, but it is 2 personal seals of 2 daughters of Seleniums.
Yep. Okay. He looks at them. Make a... I'm going to say diplomacy check for me, please.
Oh, look, the proof.
28.
Quinn stands up and he looks you straight in the eye and he rolls his sleeves up and he shows you his wrists, which are blank. Then he steeples his fingers together and he goes, "Texa, I believe it is. You and I both know that your relations are positioned highly. Chooses not to engage in council politics. So when I tell you that my orders come from higher than that, I'm going to need you to appreciate what I mean.
Is he responding in kind in my head?
Oh, yes, he would be. He would
Okay. So this conversation, even if somebody walked in, just looks like two people staring at each other.
Staring each other down,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Lorelai is smiling. She goes, Mr. Quinn, I appreciate that very much. And I am not sure if you know, but I have been pushing my relations to actually participate in family matters again. If for nothing else, the health and growth of everyone involved. I respect you, and I appreciate your show in yourself today.
I need to make a roll. Sorry. The decisions this man is making right now. Let's just do a standard. Okay. He gives you a long look. And then he says out loud, "You are not the only people looking for this agent. Better to look bored, incompetent mayor's clerk. Find anything interesting, I would be very grateful."
I didn't hear the last part. It didn't come through.
I would be very grateful if you could come pay me a visit.
Mr. Quinn, I think that you and I, if nothing else, could be excellent work colleagues. And she says that as if that is the highest one could be with one another. Like, that is an impressive relationship.
Mhm.
And I hope our queen reigns for a very long time. And she's very genuine in that.
Well, we share that.
You are not so bad, Mr. Quinn.
I am actually not, but it is useful for everybody to think I am.
It is like the bumbling idiots I work with. Sometimes they are less bumbling.
Could you take the bottle of beer with you? I don't actually like that kind of drink. It's part of the role.
Oh, I understand. No problem, Mr. Quinn. I hope you have a lovely day, and I am... Oh.
As far as you're concerned, I'm a terrible person. I'm so bored
Yeah.
and obnoxious, and nobody likes me.
And you didn't even respond when I gave you my best curtsy, Mr. Quinn.
It wasn't that good.
I tried. And she collects the bottle, and she gives him a little wink, and she skips out.
He sits, and just before you see him skip out, you skip out, you see him again put it back on.
Wow, that guy is a fucking asshole.